I think this is the first time I've ever showed you guys anything from Amazon like in this little spot, but it's actually a lot cozier than like the other spot that I was sitting in, and you guys actually love this like cozy spot, so I figured I would stay here. But I have a little Amazon haul. You guys know that books are my thing, so we're gonna go through all these. There are tons of books. I want to say there's like 30 or something like that. I did open 2 of the boxes because I'm actually filming another video where you guys are gonna see like a bunch of Christmas recommendations. I already did like one video with 16 Christmas recommendations, but I want to do like more. So let's get into these and I hope you guys enjoy. If you hear anything in the background, it's just someone who's like working on our bathroom, so don't mind any of the noise. I figured you guys literally don't care because like you wouldn't be able to see this haul otherwise because they're still working on the bathroom. But I have a package here. I'm pretty sure that I know what this one is. It's one that I've been waiting for a while. It's from Random House and I think it's an ARC. I like genuinely hope that it's an ARC. I don't really know. Let's see. Yes, oh my gosh. I have been so excited for this. So this is Nicola Yoon's newest book that's actually coming out, and it's not for sale right now, but it doesn't come out till next year. And the final cover is to be revealed. So you can see on the front that there is no cover. It says, "Friends," let me open this up. It says, "Friends, there's a certain kind of story that lies in a wait until its chosen author is ready to tell it. For me, Jasmine's story is one of those. I'm grateful that one of our kind is now finally in your hands. I can't wait to hear what you think." Now, this is the author who wrote Everything, Everything. She wrote The Sun Is Also a Star. She wrote Instructions for Dancing, all of those like really cute girly books, and this one is definitely that. On the back it says, "The Stepford Wives meets Get Out in #1 New York Times bestselling author Nicola Yoon's first adult novel, a terrifying and thought-provoking look at what it means to be truly free in America." And this is actually her first book that is like an adult book, and it's literally supposed to give Get Out vibes. I don't know how much I can like even share, but I cannot wait to read this. I feel like I'm gonna bump this to the top of my TBR just because it looks so good. I don't know if I mentioned that the last book comes out in June of 2024, but there you go, now you know. And this package has, I think, a couple books in it. It has 2. And the first book is The Sun and Her Flowers by Rupi Kaur. This is such a good book, and I actually bought this to put into a little library because I feel like it's helped me so much, and so I figured it would also help someone else a lot. And then I got the book Quit Like a Woman, The Radical Choice to Not Drink in a Culture Obsessed with Alcohol by Holly Whitaker. I don't really read like self-help books very often. You guys know I love like fluffy, fun reads, but this is a book that I've heard is so good if you are like kind of on the fence of like having like a sober lifestyle. And I haven't really been drinking like for the past couple months, and I've really been enjoying it, so I thought that this would be really nice to read. This is actually from bookshop.org, and you guys know that I shop there sometimes instead of with Amazon because I do like to support small businesses. And if you shop with bookshop.org, 100% of the proceeds actually go to the bookstore that you choose. So I chose Our Town Books, which is a bookstore that's near me, but it's like 40 minutes away, so it's still a good drive. And I picked up Next Door Nemesis by Alexa Martin. This just came out, and it says 2 rivals candidates for a homeowners association presidency are about to find out how dirty suburbanites fight in this new romantic comedy. After years of hustling, Collins Carter has finally made it back to her parents' house. Between tending to the compost with her newly retired dad and running into her high school nemesis at the only decent coffee shop in town, Colin realizes this subdivision from hell she swore she'd never return to is her rock bottom. Then the homeowners association complaint arrived. Nathaniel Adams always dreamed of a nice, quiet life in his suburban hometown, or at least that's what he thought until Collins moved back and sent his quaint, organized life into a tailspin. He thought Collins was infuriating 10 years ago, but when she announces she's running against him for HOA president, all bets are off. From the secret board meetings to vicious smear campaigns whispered over backyard fences, Collins and Nate sink to levels their sleepy suburb has never seen before. But as hate turns into lust, these two enemies are forced to reckon with the feelings they've ignored for years. If only there were bylaws for real life. This looks so freaking cute, and look at the cover, it just came out. I can't wait to read this one. Okay, I have 3 packages from Amazon before we get into the like big boxes. Like I said, I did open the other boxes because I was filming a like book video that's all about Christmas books, and I wanted to get the Christmas books out of there. But the first book that I got is Unsteady by Peyton Corin. I literally don't even know what this book is about. have absolutely no idea. I saw this on like Instagram or TikTok, I can't even remember, and it's a hockey romance, and it's also written by like an indie author, so it's like a very like, it's a book not that many people know about, and so I thought it would be fun to read. It says Rise. Okay, can we talk about why like authors write such funny names? Like, I don't understand it, but this says Rise is back. At least he's supposed to be during last year's Frozen 4, the Waterfell University hockey captain and NHL legacy took a brutal hit on the ice that left him with a concussion and a new discomfort on the ice. Plagued by nightmares and panic attacks every time he attempts to skate, Rise wonders if he'll ever play again or if he'll want to. And Sadie Brown is staying focused this semester no matter what. Currently drowning in debt, custody hearings for her younger brothers, and skating practices, she's just trying to make it to the next day. A Spitfire figure skater known for her bad attitude and frequent disappearing acts, she has a reputation on campus, and it's not a pretty one. When she accidentally witnesses one of the Golden Boy hockey's captain's panic attacks and attempts to help him, a strange sort of understanding strikes between them. No questions asked, just comfort. But healing doesn't mix with secrets, and they're both skating on a thin line. This looks really good. I feel like a hockey romance that is set in college is like just always a vibe for winter. And then I also got this book. It's called Love You Always by Lauren Lacey. This is a book by a Black author, and I don't actually know again what this book is about. I'm like really drawn to books by the cover. I kind of thought that this would be nice to read about around Valentine's Day because it's giving Valentine's Day. It says, love you always doesn't mean to love you forever. It means to love you in spite of. This is the type of love Parker Whalen and Jackson Sands have for one another. This is like a childhood friends to lovers. It says their lives have been intertwined since childhood, but despite heartbreaks and struggles, their bond still remains. After years of separation, Jackson and Parker return home to Beverly Mills and try to give their relationship one last shot while they decide to move forward together or apart. This is also a pretty thick book, but this is actually a series. I think this is the first book, but there are 3 books in the whole series. And the last book in this little like thing, these little packages, is Devon and Chris Plan a Wedding. This is a Black queer read, and you guys know I like to try to read like lots of diverse books and like different types of relationships and things, and I've heard so many good things about this book. Like, so many of you guys are like, you have to read it. And it says Devon and Chris have 6 weeks to plan their dream wedding, but their whole relationship is fake. I think that that's like a perfect summary of the book. It's like fake dating, and I just think it's gonna be really good. And I also bought another book by this author already, even though I haven't read this one, just because so many people have raved about this book. So yeah, these are the 3 books that were in those packages. Let's open the big boxes. Okay, I don't know if I'm gonna talk through every single book in here, but I'm just gonna give you like a short synopsis and like what drew me to each book. So I picked up The Royal Holiday by Jasmine Guillory, and this book is a book that I have heard a lot about, but it kind of has like iffy reviews. Like, some people like it and some people don't, but I've read 3 of Jasmine Guillory's books and loved all of them, so I feel like I will like this one. I've read Drunk on Love. I also read By the Book, and then I read The Wedding Party, or like The Perfect Wedding, something like that. So I picked this up. It's a Christmas book. And then I also picked up Merry Inkmas by Talia Hibbert, and this is a novella. It's very short. It says Cash Evans knows exactly what he wants for Christmas. Too bad he can't have her. So it's like a tattoo artist, very like broody vibes, and it just looks really good. And you guys have said that Talia Hibbert is like one of your favorite authors because she wrote the Brown Sisters trilogy. She also wrote Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. So this actually might be my first Talia Hibbert book, just because it's short. It's only 165 pages, and it's a Christmas book, so I thought that that would be fun. Let me actually take all of these out, because I think that would be easier than just holding this box. There are so many books. Like I said, I'm not going to read through every single book because that would literally make this video so long. But let's get into all these. So the first book is a book that so many people have said is really good. It's called Luca, and it says it's your world, I just live in it, and it's a Gray, who's the author? It's the Eisenberg Effect. It's book 1 in the series, and I think the author is like Gray Huffington or something like that. I'll probably read this on my Kindle because honestly I cannot read books with men on the cover. Like, it actually makes me cringe, and so I'm gonna read this probably on my Kindle. But I have heard such good things about this author. I genuinely don't know what this book is about. Literally have no idea, and honestly I don't really want to read the back. I kind of want to go in blind. There's some books I just want to go in blind. I don't know why I'm like that. Some books, like, I have to know what it's about, but I feel like if a book is highly like rated, I don't really need to have a ton of backstory on it. I just need to know that, like, I don't know, it's gonna be a good book. But if it's a book that not a lot of people have raved about, usually I like to read the back to see if it's like my vibe. But I've seen a bunch of TikToks on this and like a bunch of reviews, and it just looks like it's good. So I'm gonna leave that one and like just be blind. This one says, this one's called When Life Gives You Lemons by Noor Sasha. Looks so cute. The cover has like a little girl on it, and this looks like a really good story. It says Alina has 2 missions in life: start her daycare center and have a happily ever after. But when an unexpected seizure sends her first ever boyfriend running for the hills, Alina wonders if her epilepsy has destined her for a lifetime of spinsterhood. As a hopeless romantic, though, she agrees to a blind date set up by her parents, only to exchange unpleasantries with an arrogant yet devilishly handsome Holtier who is anything but Flynn Rider-esque. Azir has 2 goals for the future: provide his adopted daughter Okay, so this has kids in it, which I normally don't like books with kids, but this kid on the cover is like really cute, so maybe she'll like woo me. But I've heard a lot of good things about this book. It says that his 2 goals for the future are to provide his adopted daughter with a comfortable life and maintain his freedom despite familial pressures. However, fate intervenes in the form of a blind date with none other than Alina, his childhood tormentor. And things only get worse when Alina tampers with his little sister's wedding cake and the 2 end up covered in Pakistani buffet. So this is like a enemies to lovers. This looks really cute. It says their punishment: an arranged marriage that miraculously offers mutual benefits. Alina can pursue her dream of opening her daycare in the prestigious Sun Tower Hotel. Meanwhile, Azir can give Zoha the mother she's been wishing for. I feel like this is going to be an enemies to lovers, like arranged marriage, but they're actually going to like fall in love. I mean, of course, like, it's a rom-com, like why wouldn't they fall in love? Then I also got Looks Good on Paper by Kilby Blades. I actually got this because Kilby Blades is one of the authors who's gonna be at the Steamy Lit conference next year, and I just like went through like their list because I was like, okay, how can I find new authors? Like, I'm always finding creative ways to like find new authors to read, and she was one of the authors on the list. And this says a fresh, hilarious take on the classic. Okay, I genuinely don't even know what this says, so I'm gonna skip that. But it says Serrano de Burac. Don't ask me how to spell that or what that even means. But it says, in today's world filled with terrible dating apps and split-second hot takes, all Zuri Robinson wants is something real. And between her crap job, her family drama, and feeling like she's completely missed out on her 20s, she's pretty much done. Her only bright spot is exchanging letters with a ridiculously charming guy in Italy. Only she had a teeny little secret. Nico simply wanted to help his brother, Alessandro, who isn't as eloquent with the English language, write a few letters, but with every letter that crosses the Atlantic, Nico is discovering that Zuri might just be the most incredible woman he's ever met, except she thinks she's falling in love with his brother. Now Zuri is on her way to Italy to meet Alejandro, and Nico is running out of time to win over the girl of his paper dreams before she finds out the truth. The next book is called What Saves Us, and this is by Maggie Gates. This is a book, it says, people shouldn't fall in love with your best friend's sister, your best friend's pregnant sister, or your best friend's sister after you deliver her baby. That alone was enough to get me to read this. And I've also heard good things about it. It's a cute little book. I think that this is in a series. It says it's a Falls Creek novel, so I'm assuming it's a series. And that's by Maggie Gates. And then I also picked up, I think this is Rafe or Rafe, and it's about Sloane, and she just went through a nasty divorce, and she's a doctor, and she has 2 twin daughters, and she's kind of getting the hang of just like being on her own, and her nanny, I guess, like quits on her. So she looks for a nanny, and this guy, he ends up being like, I'll be the nanny. And so she ends up like falling for the nanny, and it just looks so freaking good. This book is called Blind Date with a Book Boyfriend by Lucy Eden, and this is just like a funny little novella. It's not like super long at all. It's only 185 pages, and this says 2 hopeless romantics, a bookstore at Lion, tater tots, a speakeasy, and a day they will never never forget. And this is about Jordan, who she goes to New York City, or she flew from New York City to Culver City, California for an interview for a job, and she goes just to like, you know, go for the interview. And so she meets this guy and she's thinking that he would just be someone she could just like hang out with, and she's like not thinking it'd be anything serious, but he's like a cinnamon roll boy, so he's like the sweetest guy ever, and it seems that like he wants something a little bit more. So this book just looks like really fun. I love books with like a cinnamon roll character. Then I also picked up Looking by Katrina Jackson, and never read anything by this author, but this is about a couple who they're like wanting to add in another girlfriend, which this is a whole poly relationship. You guys know I've never read a book like that, but I thought it would be kind of fun to add in. I have some on my shelf, I just haven't picked them up, and this is by a Black author, so I thought that that would be interesting too. I also picked up The Homecoming War by Addie Wooldridge. This actually just came out, like literally just was released and dropped on my doorstep, and it's actually a YA, like romance. And it's about Meg and Chris, and they're both vying for, I think, like homecoming something or other. They're rivals, and it says that there are pranks and they're in rival schools, and so they, I think, both want to be like a homecoming president or something like that. It just is, it's giving better than the movies vibe, so I wanted to pick it up for that reason. I also picked up Heartbreak You by Johnny Sherry, and this is about Frankie, Paris, Asha, and Hope, and they all go to HBCUs, so you get to see their lives of like heartbreaks and relationships and friendship, and I just thought that this would be a really fun book to read. Also picked up When You Were Everything by Ashley Woodfolk. And I know nothing about this book, absolutely nothing. I just saw someone talking about it on YouTube on like a video, and I was like, okay, I want to read that. And it says you can't rewrite the past, but you can always choose to start again. And it's about friendship. It's about Cleo and Layla. And it says on the back that they were like friends, and then something happened and they like stopped being friends. So the whole book is about like a friendship breakup, which I think is really interesting because you don't see that very often. And it's in a then and now timeline, which I feel like will be really fun to read. Again, it's like YA, all about friendship, and I think that that would be a good one, especially if you're like going through that. It might be nice to like read that, to like have, I don't know, some semblance of like that, like you're not alone feeling. I also picked up Stay With Me by Alexandria House. I actually already own this book, but I own it in a different cover, and these new covers just came out, so I'm actually gonna give my other copy to like a little free library. And this is about a vlogger who she is like pretty much just doing her own thing. She's like working, whatever. And she's been single and she doesn't like want to get her heart broken again. And then she meets this guy, Ryan, who he's like a self-professed womanizer, and they both are like interested in each other, but she like doesn't want to get with him because like she knows his reputation. It just looks really good. Then I also picked up Forget Me Not by Jess Taylor. This is another book I literally know nothing about. I saw this on TikTok and I was like, you know what? I'm literally gonna buy it. And it says, people always leave. They've proved it time and time again for as long as they can remember. You'd figure I'd be used to it, but that feeling, the one of losing someone you love, it can be unbearable. That's why it's easiest to never let people too far in to begin with. It's the cardinal rule that I broke with one look into his deep blue eyes. I let him in. And this looks like it's going to be a book about soulmates, because it says I thought we were soulmates, but how could he be my soulmate when my soul was broken from the start? And there's actually a series to this. So this is the first book in the series, but there's 2 more. And then the last book in this box is The Corner of Olive and Oak. And this is by Aubrey Penn. You guys actually recommended this author to me. I had never heard about this author, and I actually asked for more authors that are like sharing diverse stories, and this is one of them. This is a novella, and it's only 118 pages, so I went to pick it up. Again, know nothing about it, but it's actually in a series. It's the Ganton Hills series, so I love a little novella. I feel like they're nice to sprinkle in, especially if I feel a book slump coming on. This always gets me out of it. And in the last box, there aren't very many books actually in this box, but there is one that I'm super excited about, and I've been waiting for its release. I've been really getting like sucked in by TikTok books, like books that people share on there, but I have been so excited for these books by Frida McFadden. You guys know I want everything on her backlist. Literally everything she writes, I want. So I picked up The Perfect Son and Ward D, and this is about a medical student who is spending the night in a locked psychiatric ward. I think she works there, but she ends up having to like be overnight, and I think that this is actually set over just like one night, if I'm pretty sure. And then it says Amy's worst nightmare is spending the night on Ward D, and now she might never escape. And then this one is about a high school girl who's vanished, and the main character, she has a perfect family, and it says 2 detectives show up at her door and they're like, hey, this high school girl vanished, and Erica's teenage son Liam was the last person to see the girl alive. And it says Erica's always sensed something dark and disturbed in her seemingly perfect older child. She wants to believe he's innocent, but as the evidence mounts, she can't deny the truth. Liam may have done the unthinkable. Now she must ask herself, how far will she go to protect her son? Freaking Freida McFadden does it every time. I want all of the books on her backlist. The book that I was picking up from TikTok is called Night Shift by Annie Crown. It says when a college bookworm and the campus basketball star share an encounter in the library stacks, things get complicated. This is giving like true like rom-com vibes, and I feel like this will be a good one. And the last book that I got is the second book in the Shatter Me series, and it's called Unravel Me. You guys know I'm not a big fantasy girl, but I've been wanting to add more in, so I picked this one up for that reason. And that is all 26 books that I literally just dropped everywhere. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys got some good recommendations for things that you guys can read this season. I'm actually going to be coming out with a ton more recommendation videos for the winter, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys!